The emergency transfusion, the medical station on Kepler 442b, hummed with activity as Dr. Marcus Chun adjusted the atmospheric controls in the xenobiology lab. The neutral planet served as a meeting ground for dozens of species, and Marcus had spent the last 3 years learning to treat ailments that human medicine had never encountered. His dark hair was streaked with premature gray from the stress of pioneering interspecies medical procedures, but his hands remained steady as he prepared samples for analysis. The emergency alarm shattered the peaceful morning routine. Marcus dropped his instruments and rushed toward the main medical bay, his white coat billowing behind him. The automatic doors slid open to reveal chaos. A tall, elegant alien woman with silvery blue skin and luminescent markings paced frantically near the examination table. Her species was unmistakable, even in his panic-stricken state. She was Zephyrian, one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, known for their diplomatic prowess and mysterious cultural practices. On the table lay a small figure, barely the size of a human 8-year-old. The child's skin had lost its natural silver sheen and turned an alarming shade of gray. Her breathing was shallow, labored, and Marcus could see the telltale signs of systemic organ failure. Dr. Sarah Kim, the station's chief medical officer, looked up with desperate eyes. "Marcus, thank God you're here," Sarah said, her voice tight with urgency. "This is Kira, daughter of Ambassador Lyra Velthara. She's presenting with symptoms we've never seen before. Her blood is breaking down at the cellular level, and nothing in our xenobiology database matches this condition." Marcus moved swiftly to the child's side, his scanner already in hand. The readings were worse than he had imagined. Kira's unique Zephyrian blood, which normally carried oxygen through crystalline structures rather than iron-based hemoglobin, was literally dissolving. The child's organs were shutting down one by one. "How long has she been like this?" Marcus asked, his fingers flying over the medical console. The Zephyrian woman stepped forward, her voice carrying the musical quality typical of her species, though strained with emotion. "I am Lyra Velthara, her mother. This began 2 days ago during our diplomatic mission to the Outer Rim. She complained of fatigue, then collapsed during the night. Your human medicine is our only hope. Our healers on the homeworld are too far away." Marcus studied the readings more carefully. The condition was degenerative, attacking the very foundation of Zephyrian cellular structure. But something in the blood work caught his attention. The breakdown seemed to be caused by a rare genetic mutation. It created an autoimmune response. His mind raced through possibilities. "I need to run a compatibility test," Marcus said, already moving toward the blood analysis station. "There's a theoretical treatment, but it would require a complete blood transfusion from a compatible donor. The problem is, we've never successfully performed cross-species transfusions." "Then my daughter will die," Lyra said, her voice breaking despite her attempt to remain composed. "She is my only child, Doctor. I would give anything to save her." Marcus worked frantically, running every test in his database. Most showed complete incompatibility, as expected. But then something extraordinary appeared on his screen. His own blood type, AB negative with a rare genetic marker, showed a 73% compatibility rate with Kira's failing system. It was unprecedented in xenobiology. "This is impossible," Sarah whispered, looking over his shoulder at the results. "Human blood compatible with Zephyrian physiology? Marcus, this could kill you both." "Or it could save her," Marcus replied, already preparing the transfusion equipment. "I've been exposed to dozens of alien pathogens over the years. My immune system has adapted in ways we don't fully understand. Maybe that's what's making this possible." Lyra approached the console, her tall frame casting a shadow over the equipment. "You would risk your life for a child you do not know? For a species not your own?" Marcus looked into her eyes, seeing the depth of her desperation and my love. I became a xenobiologist to help bridge the gap between species. If I can save your daughter, then everything I've worked for has meaning. The transfusion began slowly, with both patients monitored by every piece of equipment in the medical bay. Marcus lay on a bed next to Kira, watching as his blood flowed through the filtration system and into her tiny body. The process was agonizing, not just physically, but emotionally. He could feel his strength draining away, but he also watched as color slowly returned to Kira's silver skin. "It's working," Sarah announced, her voice filled with amazement. "Her cellular structure is stabilizing. The human blood is somehow providing the missing components her system needs." Hours passed. Marcus drifted in and out of consciousness, his body struggling to maintain function after losing nearly half his blood volume. But each time he woke, he saw Kira growing stronger. Her breathing became regular, her skin regained its luminescent quality, and her eyes, when they finally opened, sparkled with the same intelligence he saw in her mother. "The child lives," Lyra said softly, her hand touching Marcus's shoulder. "But you have given more than blood. In our culture, what you have done creates bonds that transcend species, transcend understanding." Marcus tried to sit up, but weakness overcame him. "I just did what any doctor would do." "No," Lyra replied, her voice carrying a weight that made him look at her more carefully. "You have done something that will change both our lives forever. Among my people, to give one's life essence to save a child creates a sacred bond. You are now connected to her, and through her, to me. I don't understand," Marcus said, though something in her tone made him uneasy. "You will," Lyra promised. "When you are stronger, when the child is fully recovered, you will understand what honor you have brought upon yourself, and what responsibility." 3 days later, Marcus was finally strong enough to walk without assistance. Kira had made a remarkable recovery, her young body adapting to the mixed blood with an ease that astounded the medical team. She followed Marcus around the medical bay like a curious puppy, chattering in her musical language and occasionally switching to accented but clear English. "Dr. Marcus," she said, tugging on his coat, "Mama says you are part of our family now. She says your blood sings in my veins." Marcus knelt down to her level, smiling at her innocent curiosity. "I'm happy you're feeling better, Kira. That's what matters." Asterisk, "But you don't understand," she continued, her young face suddenly serious. "Mama is very worried. She says the Council of Elders must be told. She says decisions must be made." Before Marcus could ask what she meant, Lyra entered the medical bay with a formal delegation of Zephyrian officials. Their expressions were grave, and Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "Dr. Chun," Lyra said, her voice now carrying the formal tone of a diplomat, "we must speak privately. There are matters concerning the bond you have created that require immediate attention." Marcus followed her to a private conference room, his mind racing with possibilities. The other Zephyrians remained outside, but their presence felt ominous. "I have contacted the Council of Elders on our homeworld," Lyra began, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. "They have consulted the ancient texts, the laws that govern our species. What you have done, Dr. Chun, is unprecedented, but not unknown in our history. What exactly are you trying to tell me?" Marcus asked, though he was beginning to suspect the answer would change his life forever. "By giving your blood to save my daughter, you have created a life bond. In our culture, this means you are now spiritually connected to her survival and well-being. But the bond is incomplete without the final ritual." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "What ritual?" "You must bond with me, her mother, to complete the spiritual circle. Without this, the mixed blood in her system will eventually reject itself, and she will die within a lunar cycle. The Council has decreed that you must return with us to our homeworld and undergo the mating ceremony. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. Mating ceremony? Lyra, I barely know you. I'm human, you're Zephyrian. This is impossible. The biology is compatible, she replied, her voice steady despite the emotion in her eyes. Your blood has proven that. And among my people, compatibility is seen as a sign from the universe that such bonds are meant to be. If you refuse, my daughter will die, and you will be forever marked as one who breaks sacred bonds. Marcus stared at her, his mind reeling. He had saved a child's life, and somehow trapped himself in an alien marriage contract. What if I say no? Then you condemn an innocent child to death, and you will never be welcome in Zephyrian space again. But more than that, you will carry the knowledge that you could have saved her completely, but chose not to. The weight of the decision pressed down on Marcus like a physical force. He had dedicated his life to helping others, to bridging the gap between species. But this wasn't just about medicine anymore. This was about his entire future, his identity, his life as he knew it. I need time to think, he said finally. Time is what we do not have, Lyra replied. The transport to our homeworld leaves in 2 days. The council expects an answer before then. As Lyra left the room, Marcus slumped in his chair. He had entered the medical bay 3 days ago as a simple doctor trying to save a life. Now he faced a choice that would either cost him everything he knew or cost an innocent child her life. The irony wasn't lost on him. In trying to save one life, he had put another in jeopardy, his own. The mating demand. Next morning brought no clarity to Marcus's impossible situation. He stood in the observation deck of the medical station, watching the pale sun of Kepler 442b rise over the alien landscape. The planet's dual moons cast strange shadows across the crystalline formations that dotted the surface, creating a beauty that seemed to mock his inner turmoil. You look terrible, Dr. Sarah Kim said, joining him at the viewing window. She carried 2 cups of coffee, offering one to Marcus. I've been reviewing the xenobiology data from Kira's case. The blood compatibility is even more remarkable than we initially thought. Marcus accepted the coffee gratefully, inhaling the familiar earth aroma. Sarah, in your professional opinion, is what Lyra says true? Will Kira die without this bonding ceremony? Sarah was quiet for a long moment, her expression thoughtful. The biological data suggests that the mixed blood in her system is creating new cellular structures we've never seen before. It's almost as if your blood is rewriting her genetic code. Without some form of stabilization, yes, I believe the integration could fail catastrophically. So I'm trapped, Marcus said bitterly. Save the child completely, or watch her die slowly. There might be another way, Sarah suggested. We could try to synthesize the stabilizing compounds, create an artificial bonding effect without the cultural implications. Before Marcus could respond, the comm system activated. Dr. Chun, please report to Conference Room Alpha. You have visitors. Marcus found himself face to face with not just Lyra and her delegation, but a new figure that made his breath catch. The elder who entered was ancient even by Zephyrian standards, her silver skin bearing intricate patterns that seemed to shift in the light. Her presence commanded immediate respect. I am Elder Nyx of the Council, she said, her voice carrying harmonics that resonated in Marcus's bones. I have traveled far to witness this unprecedented bonding. Dr. Chun, your actions have created ripples throughout our civilization. I was just trying to save a child, Marcus said, feeling overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation. Yes, and in doing so, you have proven something our scientists have theorized for generations, that the barriers between species are not as absolute as we believed. Your blood has not only saved young Kira, it has evolved her. Elder Nyx activated a holographic display that showed cellular structures Marcus had never seen before. These are scans of Kira's blood from this morning. The hybrid cells are creating new neural pathways, enhanced cognitive abilities, and physical capabilities that exceed both human and Zephyrian norms. She is becoming something new. What are you saying? Marcus asked, though he was beginning to understand the implications. Your daughter, Elder Nix said, looking directly at Lyra, is the first of a new kind, but her evolution is incomplete. Without the proper spiritual bonding, these changes will consume her from within. The mating ceremony is not just cultural tradition, Dr. Chun. It is biological necessity. Lyra stepped forward, her expression vulnerable for the first time since Marcus had met her. I want you to understand, this is not what I planned when I brought my daughter here for treatment. I am a career diplomat, dedicated to my work. The idea of bonding with an alien, even one as honorable as you, terrifies me. But you're asking me to give up my entire life, Marcus protested. No, Elder Nix interjected. We are offering you a new life. The bonding ceremony would make you the first human to achieve full integration with Zephyrian society. You would retain your human identity while gaining access to our advanced medical technologies, our extended lifespans, our spiritual practices. And you would father a new generation of hybrid children who could bridge our species permanently. Marcus felt dizzy. This is insane. You're talking about changing the course of human-alien relations based on a medical emergency. Sometimes the universe presents us with opportunities disguised as crises, Elder Nix replied. Your choice will affect not just Kira, but the future of interspecies cooperation throughout the galaxy. A soft voice from the doorway interrupted the intense discussion. Dr. Marcus? Kira entered the room, her small hand reaching for his. I heard the grown-ups talking. They say you might go away, and I might get sick again. Marcus knelt down to her level, his heart breaking at the fear in her luminous eyes. I'm trying to figure out how to help you, sweetheart. I know you will, she said with the absolute faith of a child. Because you're part of our family now, I can feel it. She placed her small hand over her heart. Your blood talks to mine. It sings happy songs. Asterisk standing up, Marcus looked around the room at the faces watching him. Lyra's mixture of hope and fear, Elder Nix's ancient wisdom, Sarah's scientific curiosity, and Kira's innocent trust. The weight of responsibility was crushing, but suddenly, the answer seemed clear. What exactly does this bonding ceremony involve? He asked. Elder Nix smiled, the first warm expression he had seen from her. It is not what your human culture might call marriage. It is a spiritual joining that creates a family unit designed to protect and nurture the hybrid child. You and Lyra would be bound by purpose, not just emotion. And if I refuse, then Kira dies, and the opportunity to create a new form of life dies with her, Elder Nix said simply. But the choice must be yours, freely given. Forced bonds create only suffering. Marcus looked at Lyra, really seeing her for the first time. She was beautiful in an alien way, but more than that, she was intelligent, dedicated, and willing to sacrifice her own comfort for her daughter's survival. What do you want, Lyra? Not as a diplomat or a mother, but as a person. She was quiet for a long moment, her silver eyes reflecting depths of emotion. I want my daughter to live. I want her to grow up in a universe where beings like her are. Not freaks or anomalies, but bridges between worlds. And I want to know the man who gave everything to save her. Then I accept, Marcus said, surprising himself with the certainty in his voice. I'll undergo the bonding ceremony. The journey to the Zephyrian homeworld took 6 days aboard their advanced transport vessel. Marcus spent the time learning about Zephyrian culture, their complex social structures, and the spiritual beliefs that governed their lives. Lyra proved to be an excellent teacher, patient with his questions and respectful of his human perspectives. The ceremony will change you, she warned as they approached her planet. not just legally or spiritually, but physically. The bonding process will alter your cellular structure to be compatible with ours. You will live much longer than a normal human, but you will never be entirely human again. Will I still be me? Marcus asked. You will be you, but more than you were before, she replied. Just as Kira is herself, but evolved beyond what either of our species could be alone. The bonding ceremony took place in a crystalline cathedral that seemed to grow from the living rock of the planet itself. Marcus wore robes that shifted color with his heartbeat, while Lyra was dressed in garments that seemed to be made of captured starlight. Elder Nyx conducted the ritual in the ancient Zephorian language, her voice creating harmonics that made the very air shimmer. As the ceremony progressed, Marcus felt changes beginning in his body. His vision sharpened, his hearing expanded to catch frequencies he had never perceived before. Most surprisingly, he began to sense Lyra's emotions directly, and through her, his connection to Kira. The bond is complete, Elder Nyx announced as the cathedral filled with a warm, golden light. You are now a family in the truest sense, connected by spirit, biology, and purpose. Later, as they stood on the balcony of Lyra's home overlooking the alien city, Marcus marveled at how natural it all felt. Kira played in the garden below, her laughter carrying on the wind, while Lyra stood beside him, no longer a stranger but a partner in this incredible journey. Do you regret it? Lyra asked softly. Marcus considered the question seriously. He had given up his old life, his human identity, his familiar world. But he had gained something unprecedented, a family that transcended species, a purpose that could change the galaxy, and a love that was deeper than anything he had imagined possible. No, he said finally. I think I've found exactly where I belong. As the alien stars emerged in the darkening sky, Marcus realized that sometimes the greatest adventures begin with the simplest act of compassion. He had saved a child's life, and in doing so, had discovered his own destiny among the stars. The future stretched before them, full of challenges and wonders, but they would face it together, human and Zephorian, bound by love and purpose, creating a new kind of family, for a new kind of universe. Asterisk.